Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Shadow from G TCG, bringing you guys some new content. Me and my buddy Moxie are playtesting some OP 8.5. So I was using Marco, using Uta, got all the new starter deck stuff inside the deck. So just testing it out, see what we're gonna play at Madison, which we all probably know is gonna be Dofi. But I'll end up opening up and going second. I choose to use leader ability, and I put a Rayleigh to the bottom of the deck just because I didn't need it. I'd rather get counter, and then it's a late game card anyway. Running 4, so I'm not too afraid of not seeing one. So my opponent swings 8. I end up taking the life, and then now I'm on 4 on turn. I'm going to swing 5. My opponent counters for 2, and I play out a Marco. This is a blocker Marco where if I'm at 2 life and it gets KO'd, I could trash a Whitebeard card from my hand, and it comes back rested, so it just cycles itself. So here he attacks for 6. I counter out with a 2k. He plays out Brook to Usopp, which is great combo, and passes turn to me. Here, if I had a Fire Fist with leader ability, I would have been able to remove both, which would have been perfect. But unfortunately, I did not do leader ability, and you see I draw into the 5-cost Marco, and I put something else on top. Give the Brook -2, and I'm gonna hard play that Marco, which pops a 3k or less. So Marco ability with the Marco on play can KO a 5-cost, which is great. Basically just using leader ability to cycle and reduce the cost of cards. Busted. So I pass turn, my opponent swings 6, hits off Uta leader ability, and I end up taking it. I don't want to dump a lot of cards from my hand, and he ends up playing Brook to Robin to a blue no, which makes it a lot harder for me to remove stuff. So here he swings 7. I'm going to just block and then use the Marco ability. Since now I'm at 2 life, I can trash a card from hand and it sticks on the field, which is why I took the life, because I could have just cycled this out with the Marco. I just had to make sure it was the last swing he was going to do. So currently you see I'm looking. I tap 7. I play out the new Newgate from the starter deck, which gives the rest of Don to the leader. And it now lets me use leader ability to kind of cycle my hand. So I choose to give the -2 to the rested Usopp. And I do that because with leader ability, I'd be able to KO the active Brook without needing to give it the -2000. So I figured I can swing at the Brook, KO that, and then just keep going for board. So, and also you see me swap. I put a counter card on top of the deck instead of a non-counter. So you want to make sure you put the right stuff in the order for Marco. But here I'm going to swing 6 at the Usopp, and he's going to give me the blue no, which is perfect because now I'm going to swing 7 at it again to make sure it dies, and then use Newgate ability to kill the Brook. So almost a complete board wipe this turn. All he's left is with the Robin. But here he's going to drop the new card from the film Uta deck, which is such a great card. Prior to that, he's going to swing 5. I'm going to counter out. Don't want to take these little baby swings yet. I want to keep it for late game, but he plays the Shanks, and this Shanks KOs any card. Does not matter the cost, does not matter the attack stat. Jacks, Kaidos, Geckos, they're all can get popped by this thing. So such a great addition to the Uta deck, or any green deck, to be honest, because now I can counter out some of those pesky, high level, high cost black cards. So he pops my Newgate, which I needed so I could be able to remove the Shanks this turn. And here I'm trying to figure out exactly how to remove it, but there's no way with what I have in my hand to remove it. So I basically set up my top deck to be a Rayleigh with my leader ability, and I'm going to end up playing Sanji from hand so that I can play the Rayleigh from the top, which gives something -3 and -2, and then you pop a 3 or 2 case. So I'm gonna end up popping the Robin. So I do remove a body from this turn, and I swing 6, and then I swing 6 again. He takes both hits, which either shows he's got no counter or he's just wanting different options, because potentially Uta is looking for I'm invincible to be able to just close out a game. So I pass turn. He's currently at 10 Don. I don't have much going for me currently. The only thing is that I have 2 big bodies on the board. Swings 11. Here, I considered taking it, but I opt to just block instead. And I'm thinking about using the ability as well, but I decided not to. I figured I would just need the counter over that instead of giving him a card to save the Marco. And then here he plays out the other new film card, Katakuri. So for every 3 rested Dawn, he gets an extra 1,000, I believe. Or yeah, I believe it was 3 rested Dawn. So here you're gonna see him flood the board with not 2 but 3 of these freaking categories. So currently there's 6k on his turn. If we're doing it correctly, again, we're just testing out these new decks. I was trying to figure out a way to be able to remove these things so that I don't get mollywopped on the next turn. But them being at a 6k stat line with the buff from all the rested cards throws the entire plan off, just because now I won't be able to just Fire Fist it and get rid of it, which I don't think I've even seen a Fire Fist this game. And then here, someone came up to him asking about a card, if it's got damage or not. He was trying to do a sale. But while he's doing that, I end up playing a Sanji's Peel Off to draw 2. Here, I'm looking for counter cards just because I know the next turn he's going to be able to swing at me with all these Katakuris. As long as he's able to rest the Don correctly, it'll get the stat line that he wants. And then right there, I draw a Gravity Blade, which would have been perfect, but currently at 6 Don, unable to do it, so threw it all off for me. And I decided to just put the non-counter at the bottom, giving the Shanks -2, because now I'm going to be able to swing at this thing with the bigger bodies that I have. Potentially remove them too. Which, if I can remove the Shanks, it'll give me some type of chance my next turn. So I swing 11, where if he wants to save the Shanks, he's going to have to give me 2 cards since it's at a 9k stat line currently. He gives me 2 2Ks, and then I'm going to throw another 3 on the Rayleigh to swing another 11. And this time it clears it, so now I can put pressure on lead. So 6 at life, takes it, then it's another 6. And here he's doing the math. I could have swung for 7 to make sure it went through, but I opted to do that, not do it, to play the Ezo, because this Ezo's, I'm hoping to find a 2K was my goal, but I end up just finding the Rush Ace, which is not bad, because if I can survive into the next turn and survive the next one, I mean, if I use my Don correctly, I could use it to rush him down and potentially swing 5 times at his face. So here he's trying to figure out how to get his Don rested, just so that he could buff up the Katakuris and swing bigger. So here you're going to see him. He's going to play out a Brook. The Brook could play out a card, but he's going to opt not to. And that's just so that he could hard play a Blue No. So you're going to see tap, which now gives him 6 Don tapped for the Katakuri ability. Katakuri checks for rested cards, so I would assume Don, characters, and leader will go to that number. So, and then here we review it. I said, why not put, the Blue Note off the Brook and then keep the 2 extra Don, because once he's turning the card sideways, they would get the buff. But we end up reverting back, or he ends up reverting back and sticking with the Blue Note, being hard played to make sure that the Katakuris get the buff off rip instead of waiting till they swing. So that way he could attach 1 Dawn and then swing for 7 with the Katakuris. So here I end up taking it, and then I end up triggering a Sequake out of life, which gives a character leader minus 3,000. I end up choosing his leader card because from a 5k stat line, it's going to drop to a 2, which is going to force him to have to use all his Dawn if he wants to swing with the leader. So since I did that, his 3 Dawn that he has, he can't attach to Katakuri if he wants to swing with lead. So here he's going to take a Dawn back, but he's going to swing for another 7 at life. And I end up taking it because I have a decent amount of counter where I know I'm going to survive. And here I end up triggering out another, this time Gravity Blade, the bottom deck, the last Katakuri, which is unfortunate that I was able to have the 2 triggers in life. And then here, he's going to attach the 2 Dawn to leader and just swing for it. It's not going to, no attack's going to go through, but it's to use leader ability to check top card and look for a film. After that, he passes turn, and then here, I have to go for lethal. If I don't get lethal this turn, it's over. I end up just tapping and playing out the Sequake, as you just saw, to KO out the Blue No, which now gives me, you know, open field, 5 cards in hand. I'm going to swing for 7 with that Marco. Well, you see, I'm going to try to calculate Dawn. Just checking stuff. Don't need that card, but I think I'm going to put another non-counter at the top. But I'm making sure that I have enough Dawn. As you see, I'm separating it to do a rush ace, which is why I have 5 separated. So I'm going to do 7. I'm going to dump 2 cards. After that, I'm going to just swing with leader just to check, and then I'm going to go with the Rayleigh, and then that's going to end up being the game. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, comment down below what you guys thought, and catch you guys in the next one.